Hi YouTube. I wanted to mention that in trying to crack these allegories, I had a few problems come up very quickly. The first problem was numbers. Numerology is infinitely vague, and as soon as I saw the problem, I immediately realized that numerology would be a philosophical swamp, and that if I ventured into that, I might come out with only a psychiatrist bill. So I attempted to use an iconographic picture. I knew that iconography was also a philosophical swamp, but I figured I could get out of it easier. There's good news and bad news to this. First, the bad news. I used the wrong numbers. It's Greek numbers, not Arabic numbers. In other words, all previous iconographic assumptions could fall apart. I simply don't know what the number means to this author. Now for the good news. I don't think the number is important. It seems to be a numerological key to crack the story, but if you already have the story, you don't need the key. It doesn't actually indicate history or necessarily events on the ground, so I probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. Excluding the number 616, everything in Revelation 13 and 17 lines up very well with historical events. I'd rather leave that number a mystery for others to solve. I have read ahead quite a bit, and I've come across a second problem, and I'm afraid that this series is going to take a very sharp turn. To explain this turn, especially to Christians, Genesis 1:14 talks about the stars and how they were created for signs. Now, I know that Christians typically object to astrology, but it is a part of ancient theology. While the rest of Revelation does make reference to some historical events and characters, the author uses a ton of astrological references. The good news to this is that I love locating stars, planets, and constellations. I'm not particularly good with constellations, but a good trip through astrology will school me on that a bit. And though the author is making vague references, they easily crack. I have to love easy. Astrology, like numerology, is something I don't want to get into, but since the author simply floods the book with it, my options end up limited. I have managed to crack most of the references, but I haven't decided how to put that in video yet. It's a very weird combination of reality and astrology, but I'll figure something out. Last thing, the questions I've gotten from people on the allegories have been extremely helpful. If I'm not making something clear, or if I'm going in an impractical direction, I need to know that. This is a work in progress, and your questions could very well help me get through this with at least partial sanity left intact. Every video I've made so far has refined my conclusion of the previous video, and it's actually solidified my understanding of this. So please question everything. If it's not easy, it's bullshit. And again, I'm trying for clarity here. I want to put myself in the shoes of the author as much as possible without going in a batty direction. I won't be able to crack every single reference, but your questions can certainly help me in my quest for clarity. Thank you to those who have followed so far. On YouTube, some of these videos are beginning to get ahead of the batty interpretations out there. That's a pretty cool thing. That's all I got for now. Thanks, folks. Bye.